everyone. My name is Ladina and this is Maria. We are the president and vice president of the Pre-Med Club, Pre-Med and Pre-Dental Club here at Stanford. Today we are hosting the Pre-Med and Pre-Dental Advising Club, advising office actually from STORS. We have Krista, Sarah, and Noor. They're going to be talking a little bit about the Pre-Med, Pre-Dental options that we have, the road to getting to our, medical schools, dental schools, everything like that, and just giving us a lot of great information. So very happy that you guys were able to join today and just get ready for some great info. We're very excited to have them here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just double check, by the way. Christine, do you happen to be on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
You are here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We can't see you at all.
Oh, hold on, let me turn on my video.
Okay.
Rare.
Yay. Thank you, Christine. We will ask you to chime in at some time.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I think that would probably.
Okay. We're just figuring out the room. Would you like to kick things off, Sarah?
Sure. I feel like I don't know where to look. Brianna, thanks for joining us in person, and hello to everyone in virtual land. My name is Dr. Sarah Scheidel. I'm the director of pre-professional advising. And yeah, I just wanted to say welcome and thanks for you all putting this together and hosting us. This is exciting to take a field trip and get to chat to multiple geographic locations. Thank you, technology. Hi, Christine. We can see your beautiful face now.
Hi, my name is Krista Rogers. I'm the Assistant Director of Pre-Professional Advising. I hope I'm not shouting like an old person on a cell phone. So please tell me if I'm being annoying. So for the next hour, we would like to just go through kind of an orientation to our office, who we are, what we do, what resources we have, and just make sure you're aware of the kinds of things that you can always come to our office for as you move forward in your pre-medical or pre-dental journey. All right, thank you, Nora. So first off, if you're not already on our emailing list, please scan this QR code, please get on it. This is our main way of staying in touch with students and alumni, and this is where we distribute information about events and upcoming opportunities, also all of the application cycle related information. So please scan that code. You'll just be asked to enter your email and you will get on that list. Hey, by the way, for anyone who's tuning in, who may be here or coming later, we will be camped out on a table in the Rich Concourse for an hour after this. And we have plenty of stress balls. Yes. In fact, we might throw them at you as you're walking by. So this is just how our office is. So we're not, this is how we are.
We're not violent, we're fun.
Okay. So one thing we do want to make really clear from the start is that our office is committed to supporting all of our applicants to health professional schools. And so we understand that health professional schools have not always had a good history of admitting students that are really reflective of the population. And so our mission as an office is to really uplift and support our underrepresented students in medicine. So we take a very holistic approach towards advising and working with our current cycle applicants. Okay. So would you like to jump in?
Yeah, sure. I can. So where we're located, the majority of our staff are located on the STORS campus in the Row building on the 4th floor, but many of our meetings are virtual through WebEx, as you can see today, but also a lot of our coaching and advising sessions can be either in person or virtual, depending on where you're at. As Krista said, join our newsletter. We also have a general email that you can share thoughts or ask questions, and we try to connect and answer to those emails each day. And then Instagram, we have some fun on there as well. We'll introduce more of our team in a few slides, but Tanya is really the brains and comedic genius behind our Instagram. So UConn_pre-med_pre-dental, please give us a follow. How you can make appointments with us. So if you're pre-med and thinking of going to medical school, there's an appointment request form. And these slides and all of these links are available on our website. So you can see that link on our website as well. For pre-dental, if you'd like to make a Nexus appointment with Dr. Thomas Abbott or any of our professional staff, you can technically make an appointment through that request form link, even though it says pre-med. And then we typically do drop-in advising when we're not in our peak coaching season. So that's usually in person on Thursdays from 1 to 3, but our amazing health profession peer ambassadors also have some online drop-in advising, which we'll talk about. There's our team. So you met Krista and I. We also mentioned Dr. Thomas Abbott, who helps us part-time for pre-dental advising. Megan Barrow, who's our health professions advisor. Emma, who works with us part-time, is a pre-med advisor. And then Dr. Sanford also helps a lot with pre-med advising and coaching. And then there's my face again. Because I'm new and I'm the first full-time director of pre-professional advising. So I'm excited to be highlighted multiple times. And then we also have some amazing folks that help us behind the scenes. Sue Ruggiero, who's program assistant, helps really with a lot of the initiatives and programs that we do, including the post-bac program, pre-law initiatives, and much more. As I mentioned, Tanya, she helps us with social media, among other things. And then when she's not in Germany studying abroad, Emily helps us behind the scenes administratively. And look at these beautiful faces. We have Noor in person, who will have introduce herself in a second, and Christine's on here virtually. Before we get to them, we also have Giuliani and Aisha, who all four of them are graduating soon. So if you're interested in applying to be HPPA, we'll be posting those positions soon. So keep an eye out. So why don't we have Christine introduce herself, and then we'll have Noor introduce herself after that.
Hi, I am Christine with a Q. I'm a psychological sciences major on the pre-dental track. And yeah,
What are you doing when you graduate?
I am getting my master's in London in mental health sciences after.
Christine, we do have a pre-dental student here today as well.
Oh, really?
I love it. All right, Noor.
Yeah, okay, yours here.
Hello everyone, my name is Noor Alzabi. I am also a senior graduating. I am doing double majors in MCV and individualized major in rights, health and refugees, along with minoring in chemistry and human rights. I'm on the pre-med track, and yeah, that's it.
What are you doing after you graduate?
Post-graduation, I will be pursuing masters in public health and epidemiology of microbial diseases. So,
Where?
it will be at Yale University in New Haven. So.
All right. And as I mentioned, you can make appointments or do drop-ins with these amazing seniors, or when we have new HPPAs, you can check in with them those ways as well.
We also have an ask a question form, actually. So if you don't need to make an appointment, but you do want to drop them a line or ask a quick question, you can see their individual bios on the website. And then there's an ask a question form right there.
Cool.
Actually, Noor, would you like to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think the QR code is outdated, but we could definitely update that later. But first is it's an initiative run by the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences to support campus change students from regional campuses to kind of really just address barriers to successfully kind of campus change and the transition, make it easier from regional campuses to the source campus. I'm currently also a mentor. So we also offer like academic support for students, as well as just kind of a connection and resources to just make sure that the transition as equitable and also as kind of really smooth as possible for campus changes students. So this year, for the first time, we started a 1 credit course, UNIV course, that student could actually take before the transition, which is super cool, where they will be kind of educated through many resources and just bringing more connection with mentors who are at the STORS campus from different kind of really majors within CLAS. But yeah, we have a new kind of, if you just search CLAS first, you would find all the information, and you could update the QR code later. So, yeah.
Noor, I don't think you mentioned, by the way, where did you begin your undergrad?
Oh, actually here, I have not been back in a while, but I went to the Stanford campus for the first 2 years of my undergrad at UConn, so yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so a little bit about where our office is situated professionally within UConn. So we're in the Enrichment Programs Department, which has many other amazing programs like the Honors Program, Individualized Interdisciplinary Studies Program, National Scholarships and Fellowships, Undergrad Research and the University Scholar Program. And then as you can see, our office helps current students or alum related to pre-law advising, pre-med, pre-dental, and other pre-health profession journeys. We try to host a lot of great workshops and try to find ways to connect students with alum. So we recently had one with 3 amazing alum talk about application tips. We have one coming up on the 19th, school spotlights, and you can see some past examples in the past. So we host these in both semesters, and it's a great way to hear perspectives of our alum who might be currently in a professional school or who are maybe in residency or have started practicing.
Indeed, and you can find all of the recordings on our website too. We do record everything, so if you have an interest, please check them out. The alumni are so amazing also that they often leave their email addresses in the chat at these events, so really great for connecting and future networking purposes.
All right. So I'll let you take this one because I don't know anything about these alum because I haven't been here 2 months. So
Sure. So this is just spotlighting. We do have many alumni spotlights on our website, actually. So if you do want to check out what some of our alumni have done, they've answered a series of questions too about their pre-medical journeys or pre-dental journeys. Please check them out on our website. Here are just a couple quotes from them. Okay, so for the bulk of this session now, we're going to go over a couple different things. So first, we do want to check in, just give you a brief overview of the pre-medical and pre-dental coursework that we recommend to make you a really well-rounded applicant, no matter what school you apply to. We'll also talk a little bit about co-curricular experiences, and this is where I'm especially going to ask my peer ambassadors to jump in to give a little insight into how they've begun exploring. And then lastly, just make sure you're aware of some of the resources that our office provides, as well as some of our closest campus partners for especially applicants. Okay, so we're going to go through this. Let's talk a little bit about explore, prepare, and apply. And this is actually the way that our website is organized as well. And if we didn't mention it, when you have access to these slides after, you can find the links to all these things if you click the little paw print in the bottom right of the screen. Okay, so explore. First.
Do you want me to work?
Oh, no, that's fine. All right. So excellent. Thank you for tuning in today, because I'm guessing this means you are likely involved in the club at Stanford now. Here are your 2 fearless leaders sitting right over here. Yeah, and so clubs and orgs, a great way to explore some of your different interests. At our last count, we've counted over 40 organizations at UConn that are related to healthcare in some form. So that's awesome. These are great forums for connecting with your peers who have similar interests, for networking with professionals. Oftentimes guest speakers come in. Just this week, for example, we had an admissions rep from one of UConn's most popular DO programs we send students to. She came and spoke to the Pre-Med Society. And then they're a great way to really develop and grow your leadership and teamwork skills. So we encourage you to do a little exploration, and also not just medically related things. So we do want you to explore and, figure out what your own unique passions are. That's equally important. On-campus resources as well, especially if any of you will be transferring to the Storrs campus at some point. These are some good things to be aware of. So we do have a Q Center, a quantitative center, as well as a W Center for writing. So you can go to both of those places to get free academic support. The Academic Achievement Center, they will help you focus on things like time management or test-taking strategies. We partner with the Center for Career Development actually for many, many things, including personal statement review and interviewing workshops for health professional school. Other great ways that many of our students get involved, there are the 5 cultural centers and 2 cultural programs at the Storrs campus. And so many students find mentoring and other kinds of opportunities through those. And then also the Center for Students with Disabilities. Just want to put that out there so you're aware it is a big resource to support you.
I can chime in. We do have just a quick plug, if that's okay, for tutoring center here. So we usually call it the tutoring center. It used to be called the Source for Active Learning, but tutoring center includes both Q tutoring and writing tutoring. And I'm pretty sure I've got a tutor in the room, at least one. Say anything about that?
Yeah, so I tutor for the CAPS office here, and I tutor all STEM classes, so yeah.
All STEM
Yeah, all the
classes.
STEM classes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's CAPS tutoring and then the tutoring center. So there's 2 different places for students to get support. So for tutoring, and then definitely Center for Students with Disabilities. We usually have a person here, and we're hiring again for that person. And then I think that there will be more student support services coming next year too. So keep an eye out. There are good things happening for you. So.
And I want to highlight that. I wanted to highlight that one specifically, by the way, because for whatever reason, I've talked to a lot of students recently who have really severe testing anxiety. Yeah. And so if you do have documentation, you can work with the CSD and they can figure out a flexible solution for you when you need to take your exams. So if that can really make a big difference, just in terms of your ability to succeed in that class, I think it's well worth exploring. So apologies, I forgot to remove this one from our Hartford visit last week. So just moving along, I do want to highlight on our website as well, under the Explore tab, if you scroll down, you will see we have a page for other either national or just other resources at UConn. So if you identify with any of these groups, we do have a lot of resources and links to professional organizations, especially related to healthcare up there. Okay, so the next tab on our website, Prepare. Let's talk a little bit about academics and then some of the co-curricular things you want to know as a pre-health professional student. So first of all, holistic admissions. Medical and dental schools use a very holistic admissions process. So this means that yes, while academics are very important, they want to see that you can succeed in a rigorous biomedical sciences curriculum. Equally, if not more important, are that you've cultivated other experiences too. So for instance, do you know what it's actually like to work with patients? Do you know how challenging that can be at times? And have you demonstrated you understand this profession and you're committed to it? So these are a couple of the official definitions of holistic admissions from the professional organizations, the Association of American Medical Colleges, and the American Dental Education Association. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about more what goes into these. Would you like to?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so common myth, and I might be jumping ahead, is that you need to major in something specifically STEM, like bio, but you can actually major in anything as long as you can demonstrate that strength in the core requirements, especially the course requirements. We're going to talk about the outside of class requirements that these professional schools look for. some data. About 16% of applicants pursue a second major, so having a double major, and then 50% of applicants also have a minor. Now, this isn't necessarily something you have to do. I like to talk to students about these maybe having naturally or pursuing passions and interests to help complement maybe your primary major and then also the pre-professional requirements that you're trying to satisfy. Because you can't actually declare that you're pre-med or pre-dent, it's just a set of requirements. So major in what inspires you. So also importantly is thinking about these 3 areas that professional schools look for in your coursework. So Breck, this is talking about pursuing upper level courses that help you look as a well-rounded candidate. Yeah, so arts, humanities, social sciences. As you'll see when we look at the course requirements, there's definitely a few of those in the list of things that professional schools expect you to have completed. And there's also depth. So this is usually referring to upper level courses in your major or in a specific area of interest. And then rigor. This is showing that you can demonstrate success in a certain level of academic dedication, upper level courses. So making sure that you're taking more than one STEM course, you know, so that way you can show that you would be able to handle the coursework of these rigorous professional school curriculum.
Actually, Christine or Noor, both of you have done some really intentional exploration to decide on your majors. I'm wondering if you'd like to comment on, you know, how you eventually realized your majors were the correct fit.
Sure. Christine, do you want to go first? Or should I? Okay. So, yeah, so no, actually for me, I mean, Caitlin would have known, but I also changed my major a lot. I went like, I think even when I started the conversation about individualized major, it was with Caitlin who suggested that. But for me, it was just like various ways of like taking courses I enjoy, but to the level that I actually would go and change the major and then find out this is not what I want to do. So with that being said, I did change my major 4 times. I did not actually just say I change them. I would actually go in the system, change it, and have that major for a while, and then change it again. But in terms of courses, I mean, for the major first, I'm very kind of in love with genetics, not microbiome, but genetics. So I really kind of enjoy looking at details and just kind of looking at everything that is micro and macro when it comes to genetics. But for my individualized major, it's just that interest in various areas of like public health and global health, along with interest in human rights and refugees as a group that I'm interested in working with and value my work in. So yeah, that's how I came to my individualized major. But through that, it was just a lot of changes in terms of what do I want to do and where it's worth it to spend the 4 years at UConn. For courses, I think it's just important to highlight while kind of really exploring various courses, seeing kind of really different areas is something I found very helpful in terms of determining if that's something I really would like to do, or things that I'm just doing to actually gain more information and just kind of really meet cool people in these classes, especially the humanities and like social sciences, love them. But yeah, I mean, in other areas, I found it very kind of helpful when it comes to the depth and rigor in specific courses. Graduate courses that I have taken were very helpful, and like upper level courses, and even like the 2-credit course that I took that kind of really seems like it's one of the 3,000-4,000 level, but it was only 2, but they were still like very in depth of areas I'm interested in.
Thank you. Christine?
So like Noor, I changed my major 3 times from psych, biology to cognitive science, and then I ended up back at psych. So yeah, just like a full 360 circle. I just felt like I needed a balance between the rigorous science courses and more like there's obviously like rigorous psychology courses, but I just needed something that was more interested in as well or more fun. But yeah, I say explore the courses as well, like different courses, because you never know what might change or if you like something more than another major as well. But you'll obviously have those prerequisites that you would have to take as well. So, yeah.
Thank you, both of you. I mean, I think we really just want to stress the fact that you do you, right? You major in whatever you're most excited about. And then as long as you demonstrate strength in these science entrance requirements, that you can do whatever major you want. And we absolutely have examples of English majors who have gone to medical school. We had a former president of the Pre-Dental Society who is a history major. He's at UConn School of Dental Medicine now. So, you know, please just pursue your passions. Don't feel you have to do something if you're not passionate about it. And also, if your passion is biochemistry, I mean, go for it. Not but microbiome though.
Okay. All right, so course requirements. This list is on our website as well. So typically professional schools are looking for a year of bio with labs, a sequence of chemistry, the sequence of organic chemistry as well. So each of those are 3 credits each, totaling 9 credits of Orgo. Biochemistry, this depends for dental school. So there's some more info on our website about that. A series of physics, a year of English, so 2 semesters. A popular one among students is the short story, which is English 2407. And then math and statistics, these vary by school. So depending on whether you're thinking med school or dental school will dictate which quantitative courses in the math or statistics area you should complete.
So maybe we can pause it here for 1 second. If anyone does have any questions about these specific courses or sequencing, what are best practices? I mean, one thing that I like to highlight is general chemistry and organic chemistry work a little bit differently because in Gen Chem, both of the courses, most students take 11, 27, 28. Those are 4 credit lab courses. Organic chemistry, on the other hand, Orgo 1 and Orgo 2, these are 3 credit lecture courses, and the lab is a separate 3 credit course. And so the lab you can take at the same time as Orgo 2, or you can take it after. We really see 50-50. It just depends your major, what else you have going on. And so also biochem does require you to either be in Orgo 2 or have finished Orgo 2. So oftentimes biochem is the last one of these to fall into place. So I invite anyone on the call right now, if you want to drop a question in the chat or unmute yourself, or anyone here in person.
Can I just add something and then questions? So I just wanted to mention that here at the Stanford campus, we have all of these courses except for biochemistry at the moment. And so I am in conversation, so fingers crossed. I cannot make any guarantees or promises, but check back in with me. My name is Caitlin Dean. I didn't introduce myself before, but I'm our sort of liaison to the pre-med, pre-dental office here for the Stanford campus. And so I will keep folks posted, and I'll have your names from the sign-in. I'll make sure we get everybody signed in before you leave and share any updates about that. But there is talk about it, which is good. And then also we have a variety of English classes too. I don't know that we actually have short story here. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
yeah. We have a lot of English classes because we have the English major here. And so it is definitely, there's lots of good options, I think, that are good general education requirements too. So you can kind of be a little bit strategic about that too.
So actually, the reason we recommend the short story is because A, it is a content area 1 gen ed,
Yep.
but then B, it teaches a really great transferable skill for the MCAT about close reading and just digesting long passages. So I'm not sure if there's a different course.
I don't know. Has anybody ever taken, I guess, all crowdsources? Anybody taken English classes? Any 2000, 1000?
I'm taking one right now and it's online.
Okay.
It's like alternate history, so it's kind of short stories, but the
Okay.
short stories are not short. They're like more like novellas, like
Okay.
it's very fun. But it's a good class. Like I like it. It's online. Like you don't have to attend the meetings, like weekly meetings, unless you want. You just have to do like discussion posts and like a group project and an individualized project, which is great.
Okay, but it's a good, thanks for sharing that, appreciate that, but it's a good, thought for me to know too, just from the, like, I think I hadn't realized the jump from the fact that it's helpful for the MCAT too, so maybe I
Yeah.
can also talk to my English colleagues here and find out if that's something that has ever been offered, or if there's, a chance of that, because I didn't realize that connection.
Close reading skills, just digesting
Yeah.
passages,
Yeah.
basically.
Cool, great.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
My question was about the bio requirement. So it's 1108. I was like keep going back and forth between whether I should take it. I know UConn says that they don't. But like in general, what would you guys recommend? Just take it?
Yeah, so good question. We see a lot of students take it, but if you don't take 1108, and this doesn't apply to med school or dental, because for dental, they want.
that.
Yeah,
For the-
both. Yeah, and I,
Yeah.
both,
Yeah.
again.
Good.
But if you're thinking med school and you don't want to take 1108, then it's suggested to take an upper level bio course with a lab. So some of the ones on our recommended list could potentially help serve that requirement, like
Microbiome.
thank you. Like brain fart. And then depending on how you count biochemistry, it could be bio or chem. So depending on how you're allocating these requirements for your applications. And then another option we see folks think about is anatomy and phys. So PMB 22, 64, 74.
Would
And
that count for bio?
that would count as an upper level bio because it has a lab. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Since 1108 is 4 credits with a lab, we just recommend make sure you're substituting something equivalent to that.
Yeah.
And I have two more things I just forgot to mention. So we haven't taken chem yet. I just wanted to point out that we didn't used to have chem 1124 and that sequence. We didn't used to have the chem 1124, 25, 26 sequence, but it's starting this fall. We
Yeah.
will. And so if you're looking for that sequence, we will have that here at Stanford in the fall. And then I had another thought and that went away. Just that, I don't know, if you all had mentioned this, so apologies if you did, but if we're thinking about the anatomy and physiology sequence, that is changing.
Changing, yeah.
Next year too. So the lab component will actually come separately, like orgo, right? So it's gonna be, particularly for the ones if you're in a biology related major and you need that, that course as a requirement, it's PNB 2274, 2275, and then it'll have a 2276. So it'll be kind of like the orgo 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be, and the lab is separate now. So it's and it's the same as orgo where you can take the lab at the same time as the second lecture. So it'll be the co-requisite. So just a note if you are campus changing for that requirement. So yeah.
I'm thinking of going for dental school. Do you think PNB is
In terms of a major or taking a class?
taking a class? Yeah.
Good question. I'm gonna defer to Chris.
So it would not be a formal entrance requirement. One thing to note is that at many dental schools, including UConn for that matter, it's basically the medical and the dental students take the same classes the first year.
Right.
And so even though it's not a requirement for the medical school either, definitely taking it as an undergrad gives you a bit of a leg up. You know, you get familiar with the terminology and everything. So I think it would be helpful, but by no means if it would require you going out of your way, extra semester, no.
Because this is a lot to fit in on top of your major and whatever your academic plan is. And we have a nice example of a semester by semester suggested sequence of how to fit in a lot of these sequences because some of them do serve as prereqs for some of the other courses on the list. So obviously thinking about getting the chem finished before you take organic chem, and then as Krista mentioned, needing Orgo 2 either concurrently or completed before biochem. So just thinking about prereqs and things of that sort too.
One thing to mention for dental schools, calc is often a requirement, a full year of calc. So are you doing that for your majors anyway?
So
With the Bachelor of Science?
So, yeah, I already did stat and then I already took Calc 1 and so I have to take Calc 2 up at stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, because for med school, this is varying recently. A lot of med schools have de-emphasized calc actually. And so if a school has a formal math requirement, it's usually either 2 semesters of calc or 1 semester calc, 1 semester stat. So even like the Ivy schools say that. So like if Harvard's saying it, then we're pretty good.
Any questions in the chat or anything?
No, we don't have it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I think just because of time, let's keep going. If you think of something though, please drop it.
Yeah.
Also, just in terms of building that breadth into your plan of study too. You know, on our website, we have compiled a list of other departments at UConn that offer a lot of health related courses. And so there's some really, really fantastic courses here. For instance, I have heard nothing short of fantastic, amazing things about medical anthropology, and the professor who teaches that, actually Nor can vouch for this. There's a lot of really cool courses in sociology. So for example, sociology of health. You learn about social determinants of health and barriers to people getting their best healthcare. Even things like women in health, for instance. So, you know, please do a little bit of exploration and try taking some things that might be of interest.
AP credits. So AP gets a little complicated depending on what you're thinking for professional schools, but the majority of them will accept it as long as it is supplemented by upper level coursework in that discipline. So as we were talking about the 1 year of collegiate level bio, chem, orgo, physics with a lab component. So if you have some of those coming in as AP, you'll definitely want to think about taking some upper level courses in those areas with labs to help supplement. We have a whole Word document with details on UConn School of Medicine because they do not accept AP credit for any of the prerequisite course requirements. But UConn Dent does. So just check that out, talk to our office to strategize. And then early college experience or ECE courses are collegiate level courses and will count to fulfill those prereq requirements.
Okay, so let's transition a little bit into more of the fun stuff, I think. So we talked about academics, you know, that being one of the holistic admission factors. Now let's talk a little bit about clinical experience, AKA medically related experience. And so this is important to demonstrate to schools, to demonstrate you really explore the profession, you know exactly what you're getting into, you know what the kind of professional you want to become actually does on a day-to-day basis, and that you're going to be committed to this oftentimes very long pathway. So we like to divide clinical experience into 2 big areas or kinds. I think of them as 2 sides of the same coin. So they both equip you with different skills, insights, and so on. So beginning with shadowing, because shadowing is great for, again, exploring the role of the physician or the dentist, seeing how different healthcare providers interact, seeing how the provider interacts with the patients. I think you can gain a lot of great insights. You know, oh, they did a really good job with this, or oh, I don't really like the way they're doing this, right? And then also, if you're able to, you know, seeing a few different specialties of medicine or dental medicine. So this has been a little bit hard to arrange throughout the pandemic because of this. For pre-med students, our typical recommendations are still a little bit out the window. We would typically recommend about 50 hours of shadowing. Anyway, you can come talk to us about that, but I wouldn't be too concerned if you haven't been able to get that. On the dental side of things, it is good to note that a lot of dental schools do require a minimum amount of shadowing hours to be able to apply. It is typically around 50 also, but I've seen schools that are 100, for instance.
Yeah.
So yes, it partially depends on your school list, but that's something you definitely want to be working on. In terms of direct patient care experience, so this is when you're taking more of an active role. I'm sorry, because I feel like, I don't know, I never know where I'm supposed to be looking. So how about I just do this? Direct patient care, you're taking more of an active role. You either have one-on-one interaction with patients and or you're the one administering the healthcare. And so schools like to see this because they want to know you have this hands-on patient experience, right? And you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, just the challenges that, you know, can come with working with patients, and that regardless, you still know this is for you. So if anything, I would say direct patient care is really, really important to gain. Now, this is not a requirement for dental school, technically. We do work with some students who serve as dental assistants, for example, and are able to get it, but it's not a formal requirement. I would say on the pre-med side though, yes, this is very important, probably more important than shadowing. And so also though, schools don't really put numbers to this. We just find that our most successful applicants do tend to have minimum 100 hours. And now with the increase in growth years, so guys, I don't know if you knew this, but for people who matriculate to med school these days, nationally, 71% have taken at least 1 year between undergrad and med school. The UConn applicants we work with and the incoming class at the UConn School of Medicine also, 80% have taken at least one. In fact, the average, when we crunched the numbers for our last cycle, the average number was 2.25. So this is by far the norm, and many students just, they bank on this to begin with, because then you know you have a whole year to maybe work in a clinical setting, right? Maybe be a medical assistant or a medical scribe or an EMT or something like that, and really get that hands-on experience. So just want to clear up any confusion, because I think it's kind of a misconception that you have to or you need to go straight into professional school, when in reality, the majority of applicants are not doing that anymore. All right, so here are some good things to reflect on when you're gaining both shadowing and direct patient care experience. And I always like to think of these things in terms of transferable skills in the health fields. We'll talk a little bit more about those. But at this point, I would again like to pause and let's let Christine and Noor chime in. If you have any suggestions for how students might begin looking into, you know, getting clinical activities, or, you know, what are some pathways that you've pursued?
I will go first again. I think so for me, shadowing was a huge one, especially like post-COVID. However, kind of before COVID, I first kind of emailed a doctor who I met through like a conference at EL hospital, and like actually shadowed them in the emergency department. But then after COVID, things got challenging, which was completely understandable, trying to get a little bit of information through virtual shadowing. But actually when things started to get better, I was just sending all over the place emails to doctors at UConn Health, who are very kind of understandable. Some of them who their department were not allowing students would actually schedule a call with me, which was really super nice, and talking to them. And for others, I was able to shadow a doctor in the internal medicine department. For direct patient care experience, during COVID, and when the vaccine were just coming up, I actually started working in a vaccine clinic, and then worked in the emergency department a little bit. But in terms of actually having any certification, I'm certified EMT. So I got that, still not putting that into work, but hoping to do so through my growth years. So yeah.
Thank you.
For shadowing, I shadowed mostly my general dentist that I went to. So even after like an appointment, like I would just stay a little bit longer to see like what he's doing and stuff like that. And I shadowed my orthodontist a couple times, and before COVID it was better, but after COVID obviously kind of got like more strict about shadowing with people like opening their mouths and everything. But yeah, I would say definitely for pre-dental, like just ask your general dentist first, or maybe go beyond and ask like someone that you could see yourself being as like in the future as well.
Actually, dental schools do like to see the general dentist, that you
Yeah.
have that at a minimum. And then if you have the opportunity, you know, look into a specialty as well. Thank you, Christine.
One question.
Yeah, please.
How do you guys like jot down like
I guess, check your hours? Like, how do you guys keep track? I know I have a tracker, but like, how would you actually submit this within an application?
Good. Nor actually, can you click the next?
Oh, sorry.
No. Maybe one more. Where is it? Okay, no.
Coming up.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
did I just see it? Anyway.
I don't think so.
No.
Wait, I think it's further along. So for now, you just keep a personal log for yourself in a spreadsheet or Excel or something like that.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to actually put it into is your future AdSAS application. And so they are going to ask you for very specific total number of hours, average number of hours per week. It's really the honor system. So you just make the best educated guess based on, you know, how
What
you-
I have.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I would say the other way to essentially prove you've had the experience is to ask for a letter of rec.
From the doctor, like okay, got it.
Exactly. And then they can vouch for you. Yes, she was actually in here doing this. And, you know, by the way, here's some of the questions she asked, and she demonstrated a real genuine curiosity and stuff like that.
Okay, sounds good. I was always confused about that. Like, I just like, how does that work?
It's basically the honor system. And it becomes very clear at an interview if someone has been fudging numbers or that kind of thing. So, yep.
Just to highlight before we move on, when it comes to direct patient care experience, just remember that not all the time that you're required for certification. If you follow our newsletter, we definitely post some experiences there, and for some of them, you would realize that they require no certification. So some of these experiences would have training on site for these. And we also check out our page on kind of the blogs from HIPAA, because one of our prior colleague who actually posted something regarding of her experience being as personal care. Then we also have somebody who explained actually getting where the personal care Aisha did not actually have a certificate. But we have others who have certificate and a certification in specific areas and were able to move to different positions, so.
Yeah, this is actually the time of the year when a lot of offices and clinics are advertising to us because they're looking for growthier applicants. And some of the recent ones we've gotten for medical assisting, they say right off the bat, no, you don't need to be certified. We will train you. In fact, we might even train you how to scribe and that kind of thing. So just keep an open mind. These are just a couple ways that you might think about getting some experiences. And so Shaw at UConn at the Storrs campus, they actually hire student workers who are trained in how to do things like take vitals. And so this is one way to get experience directly on campus if you'll be moving there. The UConn Health Leaders Program is fairly new. It's 2019, and this is a fantastic program. They have a great leadership team. It's based at the health center in Farmington, Connecticut, but they actually have satellite sites everywhere at many hospitals and so on. And it's a really unique blend of clinical and service experience along with just professional development. I believe their application for the summer is coming up.
Monday?
Is it Monday?
April 10th, yeah. It's the deadline.
April 10th. And so they have, I believe it's a 10-week summer program. You are trained in how to take a patient's medical history, how to screen them for social determinants of health. And then you connect incoming patients at whichever hospital you're placed at with any resources they might need. So you get really comfortable interacting with patients and so on. It's just a fantastic program. I encourage you to check it out. Okay, and speaking of service, so service is very important for many reasons. When we look at the list of core competencies for med school, service orientation is right at the top. And essentially, medical and dental schools want to know that you're going into these professions out of a genuine desire to serve others. That should be at the core of your motivation, no matter what. So they just want to see you are committed to service in some form. They don't care what the service is, though, as long as it's meaningful to you. And so it could be medically related. In fact, there are ways to get direct patient care through some kind of service. Or it could be something completely not medically related, but that you're passionate about. So these are just a couple examples on the screen. We have a much, much longer list on our website. And this is something too that I think our peer ambassadors are very happy to chat about if you wanted to join their drop-in mentoring hours and so on. I'm just keeping an eye on time, so I think we can keep going. Noor kindly compiled a list of ideas for folks at the Stanford campus. So would you like to introduce some of these?
Yeah, sure. When it comes to for a kind of employment or for looking for opportunities, our newsletter is a great place to start, but also feel free to check out the Center for Career Development. This is the QR code for the Stanford campus office. They are amazing people who I have also worked with, so check them out. Student org, if you scan this code, it will also show you Stanford specific student organizations as a way to actually get involved in leadership. And also the team here, our host today, they are amazing also, who will be looking for leaders as well, so definitely connect with them. But outside of that, for volunteering, I kind of compiled a list of different organizations that are either kind of like health related, but other really cool things that I kind of were able to find. So including like Inspirica, like if you would like to work with animals, this is Star Relief is an animal shelter around the area here. So and there's definitely so many more and other opportunities that you may be able to find virtual, like the one at Iris, which is also located here. So you'd be able to scan these and also see the attached link when this is posted on the website. So.
Thank you. And I hope we're certainly just hoping to grow this list too.
Yes.
So anything that you might be passionate about, please let us know. We'll add it to our running list. So these are just some other good resources, especially at STORS. We do have a whole community outreach office, and so they are in charge of semester-long programs, alternative breaks, all kinds of volunteering opportunities, both medically related and not. Huskython is actually a very huge annual event. It's a dance marathon that benefits Connecticut Children's Medical Center, and it takes about a whole year just to prep for that event. So a lot of students like to volunteer at that. Just to highlight a couple. Okay. Kind of the last big area here we'd like to highlight is research independent scholarship. And while this is not always a formal requirement for medical or dental school, schools that have a particular focus on research as part of their just school mission, it's something that they certainly look for in incoming applicants. And so the key is that usually though, they are also flexible when it comes to the type of research. You know, they're more invested that you understand how to do research as opposed to what you're doing research in. I would say the one big exception is if you're considering combined programs, maybe like an MD, PhD kind of program, like really long, right? Those types of programs do want to see you have a little more traditional bench work type research. And so one of our sister offices, as Sarah shared earlier in our department, is the Office of Undergraduate Research. They have a big poster exhibition coming up. Actually, it's this Tuesday, I believe, here, right?
Next,
The 11th?
the 18th.
18th, sorry. Yeah, so that will be a fantastic way for you guys, if you're based at Stanford, to, you know, talk with current students involved in research and just figure out, so how did you decide what you're interested in? How did you reach out to faculty to arrange this and so on? And you can certainly set up an appointment with a staff advisor, or they have a team of 12 peer ambassadors too. So, you know, please think about what you might be interested in exploring and then see how you can make that happen and get paid to do it, by the way, because this office has a lot of funding, a lot of like $4,000 grants you can get to do research over the summer at any UConn campus and so on. Okay. So this is what I was looking for. Yeah, as you're doing all of these different things, clinical, service, any other kind of extracurriculars you're doing, it'll save you a big headache down the road if you just keep track of the hours in some kind of a spreadsheet now. Your future applications to medical and dental school, they are going to ask you for every single activity, total number of hours, average number of hours per week. And so if you keep a log now as you're doing them, that'll make your life a lot easier down the road. Okay. Do you wanna?
Sure, yeah, I can jump in about core competencies. So for medical school, they have a comprehensive list of 15 core competencies, and students that are successful and matriculate are able to demonstrate these skills, knowledge, and abilities in certain areas. And so there's a number of links on the bottom of this slide just to kind of self-assess. You can check out what the 15 core competencies are and what they actually mean, and some examples, and then also some real stories of how folks accomplish or demonstrate those competencies. I think a big part of this, similar to the logging of hours and things, is doing some regular reflection of how you're working on or gaining these competencies, whether it's through the clinical areas we talked about, research and classes, extracurriculars. So just thinking about how you're demonstrating them. That will help you fill out primary applications and your personal statement go a lot smoother if you've done the legwork and reflected and kind of articulated what you've done, and then you can just kind of make it sound even better in those statements and applications. So.
And this is where, as with any transferable skills, please reflect on, no matter what you're doing, medically related or not, you can always talk about those in terms of these competency areas. So for instance, working with an applicant to med school this summer, she spends over 20 hours per week as a server at a restaurant. And she's saying, oh, I don't think I'm going to include this. It has nothing to do. I said, whoa. Because I'm guessing that you've really honed your oral communication skills when working with customers. You've adapted to all kinds of situations. Probably people have yelled at you before and so on. These are kind of critical for being a healthcare provider, right? She's like, oh yeah. So please, check out the list of the 15 of them. Just get familiar with them. And then that way you can start thinking about everything you're doing. How can you articulate your strengths in terms of this list? Okay, we're in the home stretch. Just a couple more things. I know we're at time, so. Okay.
So application timeline, usually you're thinking about this 1 year prior to when you plan to matriculate, and actually even a little sooner than that. So just thinking about what that timeline looks like. I think this is also another reason why folks are taking more growth years or taking a growth year, because going through the application and studying for the MCAT or the DAT, it takes a lot of time and effort, and doing that on top of coursework can be a challenge in and of itself. So just think about this at least 1 year prior. Committees do evaluate applications as they're received, rolling admissions, though a lot of the application portals don't open until a certain point for a specific cycle. So for example, folks that are thinking of matriculating in 2024, the portals are going to be opening up in a couple of weeks at the beginning of May, but then folks can't actually submit applications until the end of the month. So there's kind of this stacked timeline, which we outline much more in detail on our website as well. Most applications have main components: the primary application, secondary, standardized testing. So like I said, MCAT, DAT, and then if you're thinking of other health professional schools, there's different tests for that.
OAT, optometry.
And then letters of rec, which I believe we will be talking about as well. So our office can help you in a really comprehensive and supportive way during the application phase in your cycle. So this graphic kind of shows how you can work simultaneously on some things. We do something called the Health Professions Applicant Portfolio. And then once you complete that, which is a great test run to thinking about the core competencies and some of the questions or similar questions you may get asked on primaries, we couple that with a 45-minute applicant coaching session. You meet with 2 of our staff or faculty advisors who help coach you through the process and through some of your answers. We also use that as a way to generate a non-evaluative but personalized cover letter for a letter packet, which on the bottom of this graphic, you'll be working on collecting and requesting letters, which will be part of this applicant packet for the letters. And the cover letter starts it off on a strong note. And then you'll give us your application ID, so that way everything's in tip-top shape as we submit that for you.
And we work with alumni as
Yes.
well, of course. So this process is open to anyone, whether you're a current student who's applying or an alumni who's applying.
Yep.
I always like to say last summer, I worked with several applicants in their 30s.
Yep.
They had graduated UConn over 10 years ago and just, various experiences told them, yes, this is what I need to be doing now.
Yeah, we just, I met with someone who did a dual degree in the engineering management, like dual degree with business and School of Engineering, in her 30s, and worked in the engineering and tech field for 6 or 7 years, and now, wants to go into medicine. So just thinking about the core competencies from her previous experience and clinical that she's gotten as an MA, so it's never too late.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so our major takeaways. If you take anything away from this session, besides the fact that we are here, we want to support you, please do not hesitate to reach out to us or our fantastic peer ambassadors. Okay, so some of our main messages as an office, we want to make sure you pursue your passions. So do things that are meaningful to you, right? Not to your friend, not, what someone's pressuring you to do, but things that you want to do genuinely. And if that, let's say that's study abroad, we want to make that happen. So let's work together to figure out a plan for that. Another thing we often say around the office is health professional schools are interested in interesting people. So make sure you're doing a few things just for the fun of it too. And oftentimes these are the talents or the skills or the interests that really set you apart at an interview, actually, that, schools are wanting to make an incoming class of people with diverse interests and abilities. So we love talking about, when an applicant is part of an a cappella singing group, or they're on club soccer, or they're part of a cultural organization at UConn. Those are things that really make you stand out. Explore and get the most out of your undergraduate education. Actually, I should have used the study abroad example for this one. So, also this is your time to explore. So don't be afraid, just try something for the heck of it, right? Maybe that's a class, maybe it's a club, maybe it's an opportunity. Consider different healthcare careers. It's good, important to have a understanding of what each healthcare provider does in the team. That's going to be crucial for your future career. And so make sure that you're comfortable with that. And I've had students who thought they were pre-med for many, many years. By chance, they shadow a PA. They realize, wait a minute, the PAs, they actually spend more time with the patients than doctors, but that's what I want to do. And so, just don't be afraid to try different things. Don't rush, stay open to growth years. As we talked about, the data shows this is actually the norm now, and it just gives you all that much more time to really allow yourself to explore and build your competencies in many different areas. We do have some bonus tips too. So we want to end really by saying the most important thing here though is to take care of yourself, because we found, often pre-meds and pre-dents are very high achieving students. Often high achievers come with high anxiety, not always, but often. And so no matter what, if you find yourself being really overwhelmed, please come talk to us, because we want you to be enjoying your time as a student. And so, self-care is the big message here. Please do what you need to do to stay happy, healthy, and as I like to think of it, grounded, because that's going to be an important skill no matter what in medical or dental school. Do we have one more? Yes. All right, and here's our contact information again. For anyone who joined us a little bit later, please follow us on Instagram. We're very proud of our Instagram account. We were just having a giant bracket of favorite study places on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of funny things. Pet photos.
Yeah.
We do really weird things. Honestly, we just try to have a lot of fun. So please come see us, and thank you so much for coming, guys. Yay.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, if they have any questions.
Any questions from our virtual friends?
Should I stop it for you?
Sure.
So
If you guys are on campus and you have any other like one-on-one questions you would like to ask them, they will be on the conference for the next hour.
Yep.
And you can come get a